Do we have any public comment on our agenda items before we move on? All right, minutes. Do you have any concern about the minutes?
I'll move that we accept the minutes of July 1st, 2024.
I second that.
Moved and seconded that we accept the minutes as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Treasurer's report. Any concerns?
I move that we accept the treasurer's report as presented.
Seconded.
Moved and seconded to receive the treasurer's report as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Claims and payroll.
I move that we accept claims and payroll as presented.
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded that we accept the claims and payroll as presented. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Judge's report, we didn't have one last month, so I'll go ahead and read that out, and then I'll read out July as well. For June, total number of new cases were 63, total number of pending cases was 73, total number of disposed cases, 68, total number of active warrants, 105, funds paid to the town of claims for $5,412. And then for the month of July, total number of new cases for the month, 77, total number of pending cases, 77, total number of disposed cases, 73, total number of active warrants, 108, funds paid to town claims for July were $6,725.12. Mayor's report, water pumped in July was 10,403,000 gallons. Water sold was 7,867,630, a loss of 24%. Again, we can consider pool and park irrigation. It's going to take some of that percentage that is pumped and not billed. So it's actually not a bad loss. We may have more of a loss next month. One of the things that happened this last month was structure fire. About a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. A lot of people of our town showed kindness and compassion. I appreciated the Catholic Church opening up their basement. A lot of people came to help. A number of people from the town came and used hoses to water lawns around the fire. Actually, Bat Lulac was there with a fire suppression tank on his loader early on, I think within 4 minutes, and kind of knocked things back. So that could have actually been a fairly disastrous situation for the town, but there was just a really good turnout and some great work by City Fire, Plains Paradise Rural Fire, and the ambulance, and just people from the town. So thank you for that. We actually did put, Greg told me that by the end of that night, it was like 700,000 gallons on that were used that night. Some of that would have been for irrigation, but probably about 500,000 gallons right on that fire just to keep the flames down. So a lot of water. Thankfully, it did not move out of that property. We did get a donation from a local citizen for umbrellas and shades at the pool. They wanted to be remain anonymous, but appreciate that. We got them in the mail, some of that in today. So we'll be putting some shades, some of those kind of triangle sail flags or shades at the pool, and some umbrellas. John Sheridan and Bruce and myself went into Missoula. Was that last week, John? Yeah, and had a talk with the Deputy Director of Streets and Roads in Missoula, man who's been there in Missoula for, I think, 21 or 22 years. And talked to him about our infrared panel that we were talking about and looking at, and his different ideas for filling potholes. And he had some really good ideas for some of that I've shared with some of you individually, but we're going to try a new product here this next month to fill the potholes with. That hopefully will have a much better longevity in the potholes. So and I think we're going to start filling potholes with that on Thursday, and hopefully we'll see some improvement. We haven't thrown out the idea of that infrared panel, but I think for right now, the thought is to see what we've got with the new material, and that's something that we'll continue to lean on the Public Works Committee for too. It's just their ideas on that. So you're welcome to have any input in that you want. We move forward in that. Oh yeah, we did finish. Yeah, thank you. Irrigation system on the West Greenway was finished last week, and we hope to see the east side finished this week. It ended up costing us a little more because we ended up putting in more sprinklers, more runs so that we could cover the ground. So it's been kind of a brown way this summer, I realized, but we had to get that new system in there. So that should be done by the end of this week, and hopefully the grass will come back. These rainstorms might help that. Officers' reports. Tony isn't here. I don't know if he's back from vacation yet, but I will put in a good word for, again, the city fire department. Did a great job on that fire. They spent the whole night up on the fire and into the next day just to keep sparks down. So they did a great job, and Merle as well. Police department. Is there any other reports than what I can read from the police department?
I think he put together
He did.
last month and this
He
month.
did.
Yeah.
If you want me to read that. For the month of June, calls for service were 52 total. Arrests made were 9. Criminal and traffic citations and written warnings were 117. Citizen contacts 15. Business and bar checks 38. Resident checks 14. Other agency assist 13. Reserve officer training hours were 4. Reserve officer volunteer and uniform hours 16. And paid reserve officer hours, including the grant hours, were 25. That was for the month of June. For the month of July, calls for service were 69. Arrests made were 11. Criminal and traffic citations and written warnings were 123. Citizen contacts were 12. Business bar checks were 22. Resident checks 16. Other agency assistance 18. Reserve officer training hours 3. Reserve officer volunteer and uniform hours were 12. Paid reserve officer hours, including grant hours, were 42.5. Public Works Department is not here represented. I think we'll just settle with the mayor's report on what's going on there, and with the irrigation system. On to new business, or unfinished business, review of Chapter 4 ordinance billing, and we have no new information on that because our attorney has not gotten that back to us yet. So, I take a motion to table that for obvious reasons.
Make the motion that we table the review of chapter 4 ordinance billing until we get the proper information from the city attorney.
Second that.
Moved and seconded that we table ordinance billing. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? New business. The first item is the approval of the Olympus Technical Services Incorporated as the lowest responsive bidder for the wastewater treatment decommissioning and demolition project for the amount of, the amount of the bid was $71,670. Are there any questions or any discussion on this? You have that material in front of you. We have 5 bidders for this, and Olympus came in the lowest by a good mark. And they have been checked out by our engineer and also by Morrison Merrill, a reputable company. Done a lot of demolition before with mining. They're out of Helena. And if you look at the bids there, you'll see that their bid is very reasonable. And we seem to think they'll do a good job. We've checked in on references. Their last jobs were done well without complaint.
What is projected start time? Is that in this other part here?
I haven't talked to Sherry about the exact time on that. We will know that once we approve their bid.
I see.
Yeah.
Yes. Did they give you any kind of idea of how long that was gonna take them to do the work or anything projected on that yet? Or probably not.
No. No. Assuming it will be done this fall though.
Oh.
And then for winter.
I'll make the motion that we accept Olympus Technical Services bid for the wastewater treatment decommission and demolition project.
I'll second that.
So it's moved and seconded that we accept Olympus's bid for lagoon demolition. We'll take a roll call vote on that.
Chad,
Yes.
John R.,
Yes.
Lana,
Yes.
Connie,
Yes.
John S.,
Yes.
JD,
Yes.
So we'll sign that paperwork tomorrow and get them started. Should we vote, Connie, but did you have a comment on that? Oh,
Sorry, I was reading something.
oh, not a problem, okay.
I have no problem.
Good, good. So, that's approved. Also, we need to sign the notice of award and send it back to Sherry and Aaron. We'll do that tomorrow. Number 3 on new business is Morrison Merrill contract amendment, and this is the ARPA funds that are being used to go ahead and do some add-ons to the new lagoon project, putting in some air conditioning. I think there's kind of a list there for things that you can look at that they're fixing, facility improvements, flow channel improvements, lift station generator replacement, lift station pump service, floating cover and baffle curtain. And then also the amendment is for engineering that's going to be done to make sure that those things are done properly. Original agreement amount was $706,931, now amended to come out to $826,131 with those improvements. Again, this is all covered by the leftover ARPA funds that are available to us. Any discussion?
I was wondering why it was changed from that added an amendment of 55,500. That's what I was.
That's actually engineering,
It's just the engineering side.
correct?
Why?
because engineers are very expensive.
Well, I know that. But that's a big change. I mean, that's a big addition, so I wondered if there was something additional or what it costs now.
Yeah, just the improvements to the building. But I hear your pain.
Why are we replacing the lift station generator? Has the old one been used that much?
You know, that I don't,
Yeah, that's 20 grand.
I think that's actually a new generator. That's another generator for the lift station in particular, I believe. So we have a generator for the lagoons,
Oh,
and this is a generator, I believe, for the lift station.
so we only actually currently have one and it's being,
Right.
oh,
It's
okay.
mobile.
Yeah, okay, I see it, yeah.
And we did actually have a kind of a close call at the lift station today. One of our pumps is down. It has been down for about a week. So we're kind of hanging on, depending on one pump to pump sewage to the lagoons. And we had a soft start malfunction on that today. Thankfully, we have a local electrician who helped us with that. Matt Fields came and helped and was able to actually get that fixed in about an hour, which actually saved us a lot of money. We were a little nervous about maybe having to bring tankers in to pump that sewage out and take it down to the.
That gets expensive.
That would be very expensive real fast, so that was kind of a close call. Our repair company will begin, I believe, Wednesday or Thursday to fix that other pump. That's why we have redundancy there. But when our redundancy is gone, it's kind of scary. So, that was kind of a close call. Greg and Matt Phillips and Don Sheridan were very helpful on that today. So I would take an amendment, go ahead.
So we're looking at a total difference of the 55.5. That's the difference. Am I seeing? Okay. Right here. Oh, okay, right. I see. Okay, thank you. And this must be the breakdown of that.
Correct.
Okay,
On page 3.
okay.
So I would receive a motion to accept this amendment.
I move that we accept the Morrison and Murray contract amendment as presented.
I'll second. Moved and seconded that we accept the amendment to Morrison Merrily Lagoon project. We'll take a roll call vote on that as well.
Luana,
Yes.
John S.,
Yes.
Connie,
Yes.
Chad,
Yes.
John R.,
Yes.
JD.
Yes.
Yeah, very good, thank you. Committee reports, administration committee.
Well, we had 2 meetings, but one of them got postponed because there was a fire. And the second one, Connie showed up to, and nobody else did, so we really don't have anything to report. We are gonna move forward with, the preliminary budget. It's gonna be in the paper for 2 weeks, and the preliminary budget hearing will be on the 19th, followed by a special council meeting to approve the preliminary budget right after that.
On the 19th.
On the 19th, yes. The hearing is at 6, special meeting is at 6:30.
Happy with all the text for some reason.
So Kathy and I had a nice visit.
We did.
Oh, and Charles did.
Public Works Committee. We did have a committee meeting last month.
We did not have one this one.
last month again?
We had one last month, but we covered it in the meeting. Last month's meeting.
Okay. Probably be good to have another one of those, we can kind of go over some of that road maintenance stuff. Okay, thank you. Boy, that last month went fast, didn't it? Oh my goodness, summer is departing. Parks and Recreation Committee
Did not wait.
did not meet. Any new news, Kelly?
So we water our donated trees and shrubs every day. But it seems like, we're gonna wait till fall, till things really cool down before we start putting it in the ground.
So for those that don't know, we did actually plant, I believe, was it 6 trees in the park this year?
Whole part.
Pool Park, we got those planted in kind of before the real hot weather. Then we got a donation of how many other trees?
5 more trees, I think, 5 or 6 trees, and then, I don't know, like 15 shrubs. I'm eyeballing this thing down here at the end. That just looks really ratty down by the post office there. Just ripping everything out, and we've got plenty of shrubs, thanks to Randy and Della.
And those are a donation. The concern is that it's too hot, so that the trees are actually, John and Kelly's driveway are in there, by their house, kind of in the shade there, and they're watering them.
Driving by.
John is wise enough to know that right now to plant trees in this kind of heat we've had would be kind of disastrous for them. So we're gonna wait till the weather comes down a little bit better in the fall.
Two benches out here in the.
Yeah.
Greenway.
2 new benches with concrete pads out there. We're gonna hopefully bring, again, the Brownway back to a greenway. And our Parks and Rec employee has been really, I don't know if you've noticed, has been really helpful this year. She's trying to find some new species of grass that might work better in that really gravelly, sandy soil there, particularly about where the food trucks park. It's really hard to bring that grass back. So we're kind of looking at different grass mixes.
You know, Charles brought up the whole pesticide thing. So John is fully licensed and he can have people working with him. And so he's worked with, what's her name, Corey? He's worked with Corey and he's reporting to him and that's all legal. 100% legal, Charles.
Yeah, no, that's good to have John's pedigree on that health and experience.
I will tell you, I've seen it and people have commented that they see her on nights and weekends, like she is very involved, like it looks very well for our town and she's doing a phenomenal job.
Yeah,
Yeah, because she'll take off during the heat of the day and then come back in the evening to
And
finish
it's very
her.
noticeable, she can tell, it looks like she really is caring about the job in general when she's out there working, she is working.
And she's learning a lot.
Very good, thank you, Kelly. Planning board,
Well, we had a meeting for the Llewellyn subdivision, but it was canceled. He's given us new information and we have a meeting coming up. So nothing, but I still have some issues. We didn't change much. I guess we could talk about it in the planning board.
all right.
Actually,
So we're in the sufficiency stage, the second sufficiency, just to, what that amounts to is that they've given us, to say that they've given us the sufficient information to go ahead and make a determination. But that still has to go through before that subdivision is officially allowed. It has to go through public comment, public hearings. Those that don't know, this is a subdivision, a 10-unit, 10-property subdivision on Llewellyn Street. This side of the hospital, just off of Llewellyn. One concern that has come up with the school in particular is the fact that that's a one-way road and it will add some traffic along past the high school. And so we've talked to them about the possibility of perhaps making a two-way road for about 400 feet of Llewellyn. down to that subdivision. It doesn't look in the recent paperwork they've sent that that's, changed, that they are looking into that, but those are things that we can deal with in public hearing. So, anyway,
There'll be 6 parcels within this. It's only what, 3 acres? 3 acres.
3 something. I think.
Yeah, it's not very big. And there's
Well, it's only 6, not 10. Originally, I heard 10.
It is 10
Is
parcels.
it 10?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
There's, but it's got like a cul-de-sac where it would come in and out of the well. And, didn't they change like where they originally were going to have the road right over water lines and whatever. That part got changed as I looked at it anyway on the map. But it's still, I don't think he addressed, as I looked at the new proposal, one of the things that somebody who lives over there contacted me. So one of the things he was concerned about it being triplexes and maybe 2-story.
Hmm.
And I don't think he's addressed yet what they're gonna look like. That's part of it.
No, there's no committal on
No,
exactly
nothing,
what's
yeah.
gonna be built there.
So that's
Yeah.
kind of, that will be in the public comment part of it, I suspect, if anybody objects to it. But so far, he's not really committed to what that's going to be, if it's gonna be triplexes, duplexes, single homes, or whatever.
Maybe they should just be tiny houses. It's not like
I don't want to hear it. 25 tiny houses. Yeah. That would be, I think would be a good thing for like the hospital and people who work at the school or whatever. I mean, I think that part of it's a good thing. So nobody's objecting to it, but. the
How much involved is the planning board in the appearance of those buildings? Is that something that you're involved with quite a bit then? Isn't how they look or?
Well, he's
no?
just given us the plat, pretty much, and how the street will go, and how the lots are delineated out, that type of thing, where the easements are, and
Yeah.
that type of thing. Not really a lot about the structures.
Is that something that you can require then before a permit is let or not? Is that not a real
I'm
concern?
not sure what the answer to that is, so I won't say, but I will look
Sure.
that up, because I'm not really sure that, in
Okay.
terms of that. But we should, it surprised me that he didn't say single family or whatever, so you could have an idea. Because it's narrow in there, and there's gotta be sidewalks or something, there's gonna be children and whatever.
Yeah.
There's no outlet on the other side, which made sense to have actually then come in off of, what is that, Kroger Road?
Kruger,
Kruger.
right, yeah, there's nothing that's owned by the hospital and all that.
Yeah, well, it's just a little piece there, they could have probably gotten easement for. I mean, that made sense, so I don't know why Llewellyn was, with all the fact that we want it to be 2-way for so far and all this, I don't know, it didn't make a little sense to me.
It'd be kind of nice to know what the structures are gonna be and how many will be housed in regards to traffic is probably my main concern is traffic. How are we gonna get people in and out without disrupting the school and et cetera, et cetera?
Yeah, I think I'll call and talk to the head of our planning board and see if we can get him. See, we thought maybe he would come to a meeting and we could talk with him.
Sure.
So far, all we got was just a response.
Talking about the owner.
So we need to deal with that.
Yeah, I see and understand your concerns there.
I believe that the plan is for the owner and the representative from IMEG, which is the subdivision company, that are doing the engineering for them. They'll plan on coming to the public hearings, and really, I think the best leverage we have on what happens with that subdivision is gonna be done in public hearings. As a council, we kind of have to go by ordinance, and we don't have a lot of ordinances for subdivisions. We don't have any subdivisions. And if you look at the ones that we have had, they kind of went the way they went, and there wasn't a lot of traction that we had
That's
on
what's
them.
making it hard.
Yeah. And so that may be something for us to think about as well down the road as a council. Maybe through this experience, if we want to develop some ordinances for future subdivisions. But hopefully it can be a win-win for the community, and we'll keep optimistic about that.
It's not like we don't want it, it's just that it would be, feel better to get a lot more input, so that when somebody who lives over there calls you and say, you don't need to worry about that, or we're working on that, or something.
Sure.
I don't even know how the guy got my name. It's not my word, whose word is that? Don't tell me what I'm sharing.
Connie, you're a mover and a shaker, everybody knows your name.
Oh, yeah, right.
I've got a,
Yeah, you are.
Oh, yeah, you'd have to pass it on.
There is a planning board meeting on this Wednesday morning at 8:30, and all of that will be discussed. Police Commission,
nothing.
all right. And Safety Committee, and there was none. So any public comment?
Did I miss the mayor's report?
Maybe it was that boring, Kelly, I'm sorry.
24.
It was like, yeah.
This mayor doesn't mess around with dialogue like our last mayor.
It was a long day. What would you like me to talk about, though?
Yeah, like I said, was watching, they like to locate and
It was just so conversational, yeah.
You just slid it on in there, okay.
We talked a little bit about replacing the plug, irrigation on the greenway, how much water will last, which might just,
I remember
house
that.
fire. That was it.
That was it.
That was it. I don't know.
Go to sleep.
I can give you a copy of it. Put you right to sleep tonight.
Yeah, they didn't have anything.
So, no public comment? All right, I would take, motion to adjourn.
So
That's coming.
So just have a wonderful Monday night, y'all.
So that I can make it to the city hall soon.
33